Okay, we can start now. Sit well and relax. We don't have translation today. Okay. Now just let the body relax and breathe itself. And feel this body breathing. And remind yourself, don't interfere the breath. Let this body be natural. And it is not belong to you. When we let the body be natural, then you will find out a comfortable pace of breathing itself.
그래서 우리가 몸을 자연스럽게 놔두면 호흡의 편안한 그 박자를 알게 됩니다.
And then we just let this breathing be the background of our meditation.
그리고 우리는 이 호흡이 우리 명상의 배경이 되도록 놔둡니다.
Just leave it as the background music.
배경 음악처럼 말입니다.
And in this background, allow the body to relax itself. We don't need to bother with the breathing. And we don't need to bother with the relaxation of the body too. Just allow them happen. And we simply know be humble and gentle when you are knowing. To wait in a good attitude, and this is meditation. Be friendly but not attached. And it is more important to teach the mind how it should be when it has nothing to do. No cravings, no aversions, simply knowing. And wait for the body to relax itself. And when this body is relaxed to a certain extent, then we can go forth to realize the brain. And there are more subtle activities in the brain than in the body. But principally, they are the same. Relax the brain as if we are relaxing muscle. If we want to relax a muscle, we need to identify when the muscle is in tension. We need to identify how it feels when the muscle is tensed. Otherwise, we don't even know what is the feeling of relaxation. So when we want to relax the brain, we need to identify the feelings when the brain is tensed. And naturally, every thought comes from the subtle tension of the brain. So when there are still many thoughts in the brain, we don't need to refuse it or keep them away. Feel how the brain feels when it is thinking. It is a kind of tension in the brain. And we need to apply a kind of force in the brain when we are thinking. And when we identify this, then simply relax this force. Keep the brain not tensed. And when the brain is in a relaxed state, the thoughts can arise. Just like a relaxed muscle cannot lift a dumbbell. To see every thought as a weight of dumbbell. Keep the brain relaxed in the background of breathing. And simply wait with awareness. Now keep the brain relaxed and wait for the brain to deepen such relaxation. Be friendly, be aware. If the brain is very tired, just tell it to take a sleep. Let it sleep in the rhythm of breathing. The breathing is the background, is space, and it can be filled up with anything, including this sleeping brain. And we don't need to know a lot of the details of breathing. When we are aware the breathing is still going on there, then that's enough. The feeling of breathing is just a label of present moment. It keeps our awareness present. It should be easy and effortless. Knowing is the nature of mind. And when we keep the brain relaxed for a while, then the thoughts will be slowed down. And you can sense a distance between you, the knower, and the brain. And you can identify that the brain is not you and you are not the brain. And you don't need to fight against the thoughts in the brain. Just let it be. Keep relaxed and keep aware. And when the brain is quite relaxed, then we can leave it there. And now let us relax our emotional center. Now it is at the center area of your chest. Now feel this area. And let it relax in the background of breathing. It doesn't matter how your heart chakra is now. It matters your how you face it. Face it with a friendly attitude. But don't interfere. Face it with content and gratitude. Face it with patience and love. Just like a mother facing her child. Wait with right attitude. to relax the heart chakra is to stop interference with our wants. And our expectations are the wants. Being content to the present being is the absence of wants. It doesn't matter how it feels, but be content. At this moment, we are awake, and we still have breathing, and this is our source of content. It is enough for us to be happy. And we can choose to be happy. Every moment. When relaxing the heart chakra, we should be aware that emotions are actually tension. Just like the tension of muscles. And when emotions happen, then the tension appears in the heart chakra. And when such tension is absent, then you feel a feeling of peace and harmony. And this is the original status of the heart chakra. keep our emotional center relaxed, then happiness is natural. And when the heart chakra is relaxed, then we can let it go. And now we can let go this person, let go everything. And when the mind let go everything, then the awareness is boundless. Let go the self-identification on anything. And naturally, such action of self-identification is a tension of mind. Just like the tension of muscles, there's a contraction of mind happens when we identify ourselves with anything. When you try to believe that this is me or this is belong to me, and there's a tension in the mind. And the mind is imprisoned in what you believe you are. And this is the limitation of our mind, the boundary of mind. And if we let the mind relax, then it is naturally boundless and selfless. The concept of mind, the concept of me, is a product of such tension. The breathing is still there, it is still in the background. And in this background, let the mind relax. When it is relaxed, then it is aware in itself. It is being with itself. Enjoy such relaxation. When the mind is relaxed, then you will find it tiring even to just think about self. Because that is an action, attention, or fabrication. In such relaxation, the mind is completely awake. It's a kind of selfless awake. There is the awareness, but there's no owner. There is the knowing, but no knower. when it is in such relaxation, then this is what I call the mind at home. And it is not interested in the scenarios outside the 6 doors. Now let us transfer merit. May this merit of our meditation worship the triple gem in the mind. And may this mind grow in the triple gem. May all sentient beings share my merit. And may they all can grow in the triple gem. And slowly move your body and open your eyes. Meditation is not doing something. But it's a process of practicing this doing. And those who are skillful in meditation, they will find it easeful when we have nothing to do. And when we are waiting for something, and when we have nothing to do physically, so open your eye inside, then you'll be happy. We feel bored when we have nothing to do, and boredom is kind of aversion. And this program of boredom runs automatically once we are not aware. When we have nothing to do physically and we are not aware, then we feel bored. But actually boredom is a kind of tension. And once you are aware of this and you relax it, then it disappears. Actually, our life is nothing more than a period of waiting. And waiting for death. What can you do when you are waiting for death? And when you are not awake, then you try to look for some so-called happiness from our senses. Because we are unsatisfied with bare waiting. Because we are not awake. I try to wait with wakefulness in the mind. And when your mind is relaxed from all tensions, then it is happy in itself. Thoughts are tension. Emotions are tension. And self-identification is tension. It is tiring for the mind to create and maintain a self-identity. And more than this, we even look for other people's agreement on our identity. When they agree with us, we feel happy. The self is strengthened. That means my identity is real. And we call this values or meanings. We find that our life be meaningful when our self is strengthened. And this is what we call the sense of meaningfulness. It happens when we are confirmed with some what we believed to be positive values. For example, someone say that you are diligent. You are a good spiritual practitioner. Or you are a good father, good mother, good citizen. This is strengthening our self-images. And this is the source for our sense of meaningfulness. And everyone has the most valuable self-image in their mind. And that is the core value of their life. And once this core value is reinforced, then this will create a sense of meaningfulness. And this is what people are looking for, the meaning of life. Actually, it is a feeling, the feeling of meaningfulness, rather than a true answer or information to that. And such feeling comes from the reinforcement of ego. And for such kind of happiness, I mean the meaningfulness of life, it has the basis of ego, attachment to self. But actually, if we give up such attachment, then you find being itself is meaningful. And we don't need to look for something more than that to make us more meaningful. Because the mind is meaningful in itself. Or what we call meaningfulness is meaningless in itself. Both descriptions are right. but the former seems more positive, the later seems more negative. And this may be another core meaning of us. All are creations of the mind. When the mind is relaxed, it even doesn't have the interest to think about these questions. The question looking for the meaningfulness of life is meaningless for the relaxed mind. Just like a fish living in the ocean and looking for water is meaningless for it. And there are so many fish looking for water in the world. And people keep on asking, what is the meaning of my life? Just like a fish looking for water. Okay, any questions? There's a question in the chat room. Meditation reports. These days I can see the burdens of various storylines of self, such as who I was, who am I, who I will be. So in sitting meditation, many stories can let go. But I've seen a subtle form of self-clinging, which is a sense of self, a location of self, a feeling of self. I'm here. There is resistance to let go. Don't take it so serious. Don't think that this is an entity actually exists in you, and there's a location for it. There's a feeling of it, and the only feeling there is the resistance to let go. And this itself is a feeling. When we feel such feeling of resistance to let go this concept of self, and we just know this is the feeling. It is just a feeling. And actually, what we call let go or not let go, it doesn't matter. When for a mind which has let go, it doesn't care whether there's a resistance or not. It is unattached, and even such feeling of resistance is not about the self or not. It is just a feeling. When we let go, we just delete such self-identification or the sense of identity. We simply find that it is useless. We are not trying to destroy something that we call self in us. There's nothing to destroy, and we don't need to do anything to destroy anything. It is just an relaxation. When you find that holding on to an identity is attention, then you simply keep relaxed, and that's all. And we call this let go. When you find that to maintain such self-identity is a suffering, is an tension, then we don't even want to take it out. So we don't need to let go. Because the mind don't think that it is funny to take up something like this. So it is more important to see the suffering of keeping an identity for ourselves. Okay, so next question. Yes, Monica.
I just want to ask, what is the identification of self?
I can't hear you.
Okay, let me check. Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Yeah, I just wondering, what is the identification of self? Is it the name, the occupation, the body, or whatever is it? Because it's changing all the time. Actually, identification is a concept, is it? It's not really a self because it's changing all the time. The time 8 o'clock now is almost 9 o'clock. It's totally different from the one who I'm starting the Zoom till now. It's totally different. I think it's a concept. It's not the real self. Is it like that?
Yes, it's just a name, naming a gross sum of everything that we think is me or belong to me. Like our body, like our age, our occupation, our relationships, everything that is related to this person. And this is part of the self. It is all included in such gross concepts of self.
So once we are really observe it or we are really looking in it, actually there's no self because all this is a concept, all this is a name we are giving. Is it like that? So in that case, it's easy to let it go if we are thinking in such a way. We are thinking is bit by bit, but not in a whole thing, because all the time we are changing. How can you identify I as that? Is it like that?
We don't need to throw things away piece by piece as we thought. Actually, we just try to feel bored or tired for the action of attachment itself. No matter what you think you are, no matter what you think you are, you must have an action of attachment, grasping tight to it. And such action is tiring. So just be aware of this.
Because there's no point to attach because it's changing all the time. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm usually doing my meditation like that. If I really clinging to the self.
If it let you be more dispassionate, then it works for you. But the goal is to be dispassionate. For those we are attached. But it's the cleansing of attachment itself.
Yeah, of course. Now I'm not really clinging to it, but that's what I did in the past. Usually, I did in the past is because it's changing all the time. So that's why I'm let it go a long time ago. Especially when we look into the body, we look in the everything. It's changing all the time. Actually, there's no self. For me,
but
I think
if,
there's no certain.
if there's only the intellectual understanding to such notion that everything is changing, there's no a permanent self, blah 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 like this, it's not enough for us to let go.
I know. Of
We
course,
only when we can feel the suffering of holding on to things like this, and then we will let go.
Of course, if we are really know that we attach to ourselves, and of course we are so suffer a lot. Every time we heard if somebody say I'm still, but we are really angry about that if we are really attached to it. So that's why understand what Ajahn really good lesson to me, but I more or less I understand what you're teaching. Thank you.
Okay, Sally.
Wantami Bande. In this meditation, in the part that Bande mentioned, like something like we is not wanting, but is I forgot the word when they are using. It's not wanting, but could Bande please remind me what is the word that Bande using, that Bande you mentioned is not wanting something. The wanting make us suffering, but it is, I forgot the word.
What do you mean?
In the meditation, Bande mentioned the wanting, the opposite to the wanting. What is the word that Bande are you using?
The opposite to wanting.
Yeah. The never mind. I'll say letting go. I'm not sure letting go is the original word that Bande are using. I think it's one word, but it's okay. I mean, when Bande mentioned it's not wanting but letting go. And later I feel very sleepy since last night I didn't sleep enough, and I kind of feel like when I for sleep, I have a wanting mind that I should not fall asleep because I want to listen to this important Dhamma talk. Is this kind of wanting? I know before Bande mentioned if our wanting is not that attachment, then that wanting is good. But I still feel one thing is how could we really know the wanting is attached or not attached? Second, how could we, I feel like when we are wanting do something, then still we are losing the letting go.
Your first question is, how do you know whether we are attached or not, right? Of course you know.
Yeah.
If you are attached to something, you find it difficult to let go, and that's it. So if you are not attached, then it's easy. when you want to let go. Just put it down. Just leave it away. So this is the meaning of attachment. It is opposite to the action of let go. And your second question, what is your second question? I forget.
Second question is so when we want something, but we are not attached, is that okay? I mean, I still feel when I want to do something, then I'm not
when we get up from the bed, we want to go toilet, and that's fine, of course. And we want to brush our teeth, and that's fine. But the attachment is a mental tightness, holding on to something, and we cannot let it go, and that makes us suffer. And the reason for us to let go the attachment, because otherwise we will be suffering. And that's the strongest reason for us to do it.
But I still feel like, for example, just now when I want to fall asleep, and I want to listen to Bandai's Dhamma talk, I feel that kind of wants is also has a little bit tense. It's like one way is just follow the mind, like when it's want to relax sleep.
Of course, it is it's kind of tension, because you were sleepy, and you want to do something going against sleepy, because listening requires some more attention to the object, and which is going against the sleepiness, and so that you feel tension, and this is feeling, it's natural. But the feeling doesn't mean suffering itself. And what the Buddha said about suffering, it comes from our ignorance, comes from a delusion, and holding onto something that is impermanent, that is not self. It is on this level. So about the suffering, it happens on the mind, not on the feeling, physical feeling. Physical feeling is just part of sufferings, but not. It doesn't mean that the suffering itself. And if you when you get up early in the morning, then you have physical suffering, of course. But it may not be a suffering for your mind, right? If you keep, if you know that by doing this, you are practicing the precepts and samadhi wisdom, you are improving in your spiritual path, then your mind is not suffered by the physical suffering. And this is what we are practicing, is to free from the mental sufferings. Even the Buddha can feel the physical suffering. And sleepiness can create a physical suffering for everyone, the same.
Oh, the physical suffering means the feeling itself is suffering. Okay. So this kind of tension is okay. This kind of feeling suffering is, we don't need to let this go. What we need to do is kind of
attachment is the tension of mind. It's not about the tension of the body. So it's more important to the let go happens. Let go is actually the relaxation of such tension of mind. It's the deepest part in our meditation. So it's not about physical tension or physical suffering.
But I feel like when I want to do something, when the intention arises, I feel the intention is from the mind, and I feel the mind is going to do something, and I feel that I thought that suffering is also kind of mind. how could I tell the difference? I mean, sometimes I feel like, for example, just after sitting, after the meditation, and then when I want to do something, for example, oh, I need to take notes, I need to write a meditation report, something like that. And I feel like that kind of wanting to do something, I feel that intention is kind of tension. So I thought the kind of intention is from mind, because
Yes,
intention
yes,
is from mind.
yes. No. Yeah. Intention is a kind of emotional modification. So of course it is an emotional tension. It is not relaxed. It is an action in our emotional level. So all kinds of intention is kind of emotional drive. So of course it will have a feeling of tension in you, but it's not about the suffering from attachment. It is on the level of mind, not the emotional one. It doesn't mean that when we relax, we are completely still. We are completely actionless. That means we don't even have any kind of intentions. It's not about this. This is not the way to end the suffering. The core of suffering comes from the tension of the mind, comes from the self-identification. And this is the part that we need to deal with. It's not to
Thank you so much for doing this.
Emotionally stiff. That is not the end of suffering. That is the practicing yourself in changing yourself into a stone. You know, you're changing yourself into a stone person. You're not practicing an enlightened person. And making yourself motion. So we still have motion and all kinds of motions, either in a physical level or mental level, emotional level. That will cause the feeling of tension in this body. But this is not suffering itself. It's not attachment itself. Attachment is something at some level deeper than this. It's on the level of mind.
Okay. The level of mind and level of the emotion are both from the heart area. Is it from the same place?
No,
How could we tell the difference?
No. What I mean mind means the knower, the knowing itself. It has no location. The mind is the mind. It is not physical, so it don't have the spatial occasion for that. All kinds of physical location feelings, physical feelings, including what we call the emotional feelings. When we are emotional, we have some feelings or tension in the chest area. And this area doesn't mean that it is the area of the emotion or the area of mind. It is just a physical area of physical feelings. It is a feeling level, not the mind. Okay?
Okay. So maybe the translator can translate first. I have one question following this one, but maybe the translator can translate first. And I think there's another question for other people first.
Okay, so that's a question from Yao. You mentioned the meaning of life. Can you please explain more? Sorry, I'm not very clear about the example of fish. I thought I have explained a lot on the meaning of life. That's the main issue of the Dhamma talk. And Well, I'm not clear about which piece of information you want to have more elaborations. But it simply what I said is about also called meaning of life. When we are looking for the meaning of life, actually it's looking for the feeling of meaningfulness. When we have such feeling of meaningfulness, we will be fulfilled. And when we will think that we have found the meaning of life. So actually, it is looking for a feeling rather than an answer, an intellectual answer for that. So and such feeling comes from the reinforcement of ego. Comes from someone agree that you are what you believe to be. You are as good as you think. You are as great as you think. And this will give you the sense of meaningfulness. And actually, people are looking for this feeling rather than the intellectual answer for the question, what is the meaning of life? There's no single answer to this meaning, to this question, because there's no single answer can give the feeling of meaningfulness to everyone, to all people, right? Because people are looking for different self-images. And someone will be fulfilled when they believe that they are a good mother. And that is the whole meaning of their life. And someone will be fulfilled when people agree that he is a great leader or great boss in the company. So they will be, this will give him the sense of meaningfulness of life. And that is what they are looking for. This is what I said in the Dhamma talk. Okay, translation. Okay, last question for Zari.
Oh, thank you, Bande. What I want to know is Bande just mentioned mind is the knower. So when I'm not mindful, when I'm not mindful, so I'm not a knower, then at that time, where is the mind?
You are deluded to the state of not knowing.
Right.
That's it.
Mind is deluded.
That's it. It's in the state of delusion. Or
So
the mind
it's a deluded mind.
Or he is believing that he is not knowing.
But the truth is, I'm not knowing. This is the truth, not I believe.
It is actually the mind believe that it is not knowing. But actually it is knowing that it is not knowing. So this is a state of delusion. Okay.
Oh. Okay. Anyway, the most important thing is
a state of mind, and when it is stuck in such state of mind, then it is what we call not knowing. But actually, it is not knowing. It is knowing that it's knowing the deluded state, but it's not
so,
aware.
So anyway, the most important thing is when the mind knowing something, it's not knowing from a wrong view, like Bande mentioned, self-identity. So what we need to practice is that when we are knowing something, we should knowing without self-identity.
Just practice. Just practice,
Okay.
and this question will disappear. Okay. I
Okay.
think
Thank you, Bande.
it'd be better to limit your quota of questions to 2 questions at most for a day. Okay, and then you make it to consider clearly before you ask. If you are really confused to the question you ask, then you can ask, but don't ask because of such kind of attachment to asking question. Sometimes we are attached to this action, so that we are not clear about our question, and you try to create a question during asking, and this is
because sometimes.
okay.
This is not okay. Okay, so I sometimes it's when Bande mention I have something not understanding, so I want to understand it. That's why I'll keep asking.
So actually, important questions are not that many, and when we actually go into the actual process practice, then we will understand, and most of the questions, the intellectual questions, will disappear itself.
Okay.
Okay.
I
so
see. Thank you, Bande. Okay, I'll practice and think before ask. Thank you,
Okay.
Bande.
There's a question. So what's the true meaning of life? Out of suffering, or just not to think about this? There's no truth, but there's such action of craving for the meaningfulness. When we are asking the question, what is the meaning of life? Whether there's an answer to this is not important, but you should be aware that your mind is eager for such feeling of meaningfulness. And such eager or such craving, it actually makes ourselves suffer. And this is more important. Other than looking for an intellectual answer to this question, it is more important to solve the problem that we are feeling at this moment when we are asking. And if we keep on asking or looking for the answer to this question, we are keeping ourselves suffered. So it is an unwise behavior to do this. Okay. If you say there's no meaningfulness in life, well, that is not right. Meaningfulness is a feeling. It's an emotional feeling, and it comes naturally with any kind of self-actualization, and it also comes in our spiritual practice. In our spiritual practice, we also have such feeling of meaningfulness, but don't make it intellectual. Don't think that this is the meaning of life. If you say in this way, then that's wrong. There is the meaningful feeling of meaningfulness. Yes, that's true, and that's it. Okay, can you translate? Okay, never mind. Meaningfulness. And in our Dhamma practice, we actually, it is quite necessary for us to have such feeling of meaningfulness. Otherwise, you will not continue to do it. If we are unhappy in something that we need to do, then that will be a burden. There will be a heavy job for us. That's not a good attitude in practice. In our practice, our sense of meaningfulness comes from the accumulation of wholesome Dhamma in our mind, the accumulation of precepts, samadhi, and wisdom in our mind. And if we find such accumulation of good things becoming more and more in our mind, then we will find the feeling of meaningfulness in practice, and that will make our practice more energetic, which is necessary for us. But don't think that such feeling is the ultimate refuge for us, because it's still conditional. It happens under certain conditions, and it's not permanent. The practice, the teaching of suffering is positive, not negative. It means the transcendence of mind. When we see something suffering, then we can go beyond that, and that's the transcendence of mind. When we see the suffering of attachment to ego, only then we can go beyond the ego. If you are ignorant to your suffering, then you will never look for liberation. Okay, so one more question? Yes, Kai.
Thank you, Ajahn. It's great talk today, a lot to process. So my question is about suffering also. So from the angle of the three characteristic of phenomena, the suffering seems to be about phenomena in general. So the impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Right, and then from the angle of a Four Noble Truths, which is how Ajahn is teaching us to practice, the suffering is rooted in our ignorance, our craving, and our self-identification to the phenomena. So, I mean, are these two
the same?
The same? They are the same. Okay.
All phenomena means the phenomena of this body and mind, of the five khandhas, and all these phenomena must come from motions or actions, and all actions creates tension for the mind. Either a physical action or mental action, emotional action, or even spiritual action, which means self-attachment. Right? It's a spiritual action. I can call it this way. So these actions are tensions, and tensions means suffering. So all the phenomena exist out of tensions, out of sufferings. Once they are because they exist in the form of actions. So we call it the sankhara. Sankhara actually means activities, right? All beings are actually activities. So when there are activities, and there must be tension, and this tension means dukkha, means suffering.
Okay.
And actually, because we have this doubt, because we were taught that there's an objective world existing independent of us, of this person, right? And we think that the 5 khandhas belong to this person only. Then there's be another world outside. This is what we believed, right? But actually, what's the truth? The whole world exists in our senses. They are the activities of our senses. We can never get in touch with what's so-called objective. So that's why all phenomena which exist in our 6 senses are activities, are tensions.
Thank you.
Okay. Sally, are you still raising your hand, or haven't yet put down? Yes.
Yeah, but this is not a question. This is
I
just
can't hear.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
This is not a question. This is just a kind of realization that in the first question I asked, I think I totally know in the past I'm in the wrong path. That if I'm in the path that I always want the peaceful and the stillness, and I feel like when I out of meditation, the intention is creating the intention is creating tension, then actually it will make me be reborn in the 就是有那种没有心识的那个可以活很久很久，这样 it's really like a stone. So from the first question, I think I understand. I need to adjust my practice because the dukkha is from the self identity. So I think from that kind of asking question, I realize I need to adjust the path in the right path. That is okay. And but maybe later on, if when I'm keeping asking, oh, what is the difference from the mind and the emotion, then that's when I'm keeping asking the later part. Actually, that's need my own experience, because just now, actually, I experienced that I understand the mind is kind of more deeper level. it's more like how your, I don't know how to express it, how your vision or concept or say view are wrong, that kind of thing. This is different from physical. So I experience it. So actually what Bandai mean is I need to practice, then I will know the answer.
If you know what mind is, and then all these questions disappear.
I see. I see. Okay. In future, I'll ask question like that. And when something I need to practice, I will practice and then ask. Thank you, Bandai.
Okay. So, any more questions? Okay, then let's end here. Good night.
Thank you, Ajahn.
감사합니다.